So, y'all, this is going to be part two on how our brother went crazy and killed our mom. And y'all, look at this story. It's getting so juicy. Like, this is crazy. I can't believe that this would happen. Like, something like this is happening. This is wild. Like, just watch this.
This is part two of how my brother went crazy and killed our mom. So he had the little piece, which we knew that was like a personal piece. The personal piece was, a usage of him, because, my brother was like a doughboy. Like, he was out in the streets, like, whatever I needed, if I needed anything, like Jordans, clothes, shoes, anything for my kids, I can look to him to help me. That was that brother. And then for him to just flip script like that was mind blowing. And we knew what you was used to, working with out in here in the street. So we know what is and what ain't. And I told my mama, I thought that he was using his own products, in which I believe that he was, because he had that little piece. And I told my mama that was a personal thing. Even my other brother, he said the same thing. So she was like, she was going to ask him when he got out or whatever. So that was that. She ended up asking him when he got out, because they ended up releasing him. Which they said he was coming off of a drug like the other times. So we ended up going to pick him up. He went back over to my mama's house. She ended up asking him, and when she asked him, he said that he wasn't. He went on drugs or whatever, which we know that was a lie. Come on now. So then we end up getting another incident happen. So my mama called me. This one's the big one. So this one right here, she called me. She's crying, historical, on the phone. Now she get over here. Come over here. Your brother, and he just set himself on fire. And I'm like, what? So I get over there. Not to me. My mama lived on a main street. Remember that? And it was so much traffic on that street. So I get on her street. I can't even get on to where she lived at, because it's blocked. Like, the traffic's bad. So I have to park my car and then walk down. So I walk down. It's police, ambulance, fire truck, everything over there. I'm like, what the fuck? So it's people getting out their cars looking. They wondering what's going on. I walk up over there. My brother's in the yard, and he got a cover over him. And I'm like, bro, what's going on? What's wrong? And next thing I know, he drops the cover. And when he drops the cover, his skin was peeling off. His skin was literally peeling off. Like, peeling. It was pink. And I'm like, what the fuck? So coming to find out, he went in the backyard and got some, so he goes in the backyard and gets my mama's lighter fluid, which was in the back, and sprays himself with the lighter fluid and sets himself on fire, which his baby mama said that he had a knife too. So I guess he was planning on killing himself. So he either was going to kill himself with a knife, or he was going to set himself on fire, and he was going to run in the street and let like a semi hit him. So she said she seen him on flames, and she took a cover and she wrapped, she stopped, dropping, roll with him so the flames can go out. And he was on fire from the waist down. So he didn't have any skin. So the ambulance is trying to get him to, get on the stretcher. When I tell you, he walked to the ambulance truck. So we all shocked, like, what the fuck? So he must be in shock. So that's what that was. He was in shock. And he walked to the ambulance truck himself. So then they end up putting him on the stretcher when he walked to the ambulance truck. So they end up taking him to the hospital. So we all scared. We don't know what's going on. They rushed him into the hospital, did his little surgery on him, because he's got third-degree burn. Like, they didn't put him in the burn unit. So all our family's up there in the waiting room waiting to see what's going on. We upset. We don't know. My nerves is bad. My mama's nerves bad. Mine, we don't know. So then come to find out he's going to be okay. So they end up letting us go in the room to see him. When I tell you we went in this room to see him, it was just like a black room. Like, his eyes was black. Like I mentioned the first part. It didn't even seem like that was my brother. My brother was gone. It wasn't even him no more. Like, I felt like I lost him. Like, that wasn't him in that room. Like, we just felt like I was in a room with a demon. And I didn't like that bad energy in there, that spirit. So I made sure he was okay. And I had to get out of that room because, like, it wasn't it. So then he stayed in the hospital. They had to keep him in the hospital for a while. So I was going back and forth to the hospital, make sure that he was straight, giving him food, anything he need. My mama, she didn't leave. She was 10 toes down. Like, she stayed with her son. Like, she wasn't letting up. She wasn't leaving. They had the priests come there, the priests that be at the hospital and stuff. They had preachers coming there, people praying for him, everything, trying to make sure that he's straight. So my mama didn't leave. Like, she was there from sun up to sundown. Like, she even got sick. My mama was diabetic and she had thyroid. So she got to the point where she was getting sick because she was there all night. Girl, go home. Mama, go home. He's gonna be fine. That's what I had to tell her. Like, he got nurses here. It's okay. But she didn't want to leave her son. So they had to do like a surgery on him. They did like that surgery that they never did before on him, on anybody. It was like a skin graft surgery, and they put skin on him. And when I tell you, these doctors did they big one on that, because that skin looked like that was his skin that he grew. And it looked good, but you had to take care of it. So he was in the hospital like for like 3 to 4 weeks. He had to go through therapy again to learn how to use his legs, his private, everything. Like, he burnt all that. Like, he had to learn again. Like, he fucked his bones up, all that. So my mama was taking him to therapy, giving him his medicine, bandages, everything. Like, she was his nurse. Like, she was doing her big one for her child. And she didn't let up. And she was like, I don't know, y'all gotta help me because this is hard. And I understand that it was hard, but like, mama, you have to take a break for yourself. That's what I kept telling her. She had got sick or whatever, and that was that. So then she ended up telling his baby mama, you got to go, because she was staying at her. Remember I told you that they was in her basement staying for like 4 years. She told her she had to go, so she ended up having to leave because, baby girl, you getting pregnant down here and everything. She ended up getting pregnant. So, girl, it was too much. Like, you got to go. So she ended up telling her she had to go, so it was just my mama and my brother there. So my mom was taking care of him or whatever, and we was thinking that he was getting better, because shit was getting better. Like, he was doing good. Like, he was like in the room where he was doing good again. Like, he was mingling with his nieces and nephews again, having, talking, saying his prayers, going to his therapy. He ended up, going to see a therapist or whatever, and they doing the Zoom stuff, because this was during COVID too. So they ended up doing the Zoom therapy and stuff for him and stuff too. So we thinking everything's fine and everything's good. So then, mom was taking care of him. I'm making sure that everything's straight. And then it's like everything was good. Then it's like, I got a phone call from I got a phone call from work, and she was like, I don't know what's going on with your brother, and I don't know what's going on with your brother. He's mad that I made this post on Facebook. All she did was she reshared this post where it was like, if you don't like it, you can hit the road jack. And it was like a Tweety Bird. And it was just like a little quote. And she just reposted it. So I guess he thought that was towards her. And, which wasn't. She said it wasn't. She just reposted it. And he got mad. And he got mad that she reposted that, and he was walking around with an attitude. So she was like, I can't do this by myself. Y'all gonna help me with him, because I can't take this. He's walking around not taking showers again, and he's not eating. So I guess he was going back downhill. And then, see, he was getting to the point where when we came over there, like, he stopped coming out the room. He was sitting in the room in the dark, because it got to the point where my mama was like, she had told him, like, share your story on Facebook, because my brother never had a Facebook or social media or anything. He never had none of that. So my mom was like, well, maybe your story will help somebody else out, because we thought he was getting better. So she was like, go on Facebook and, like, tell your story. So, like, he would go on Facebook Live, and he was just, like, be in a dork talking. And he would be in that dark just talking, saying all kind of stuff on these lives like that didn't even make sense. And then like we wasn't really paying attention to him like that, but we was. But I feel like if we was paying more attention, come back for part 3 of how my brother went crazy and killed my mom, part 3.